Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut, and I'm here with Mike Kelly, and we're Real Estate Jerky Daily.
And it's Tuesday.
That's right. We weren't here Friday and Monday. Well, I was, but somebody had to go to Cabo and enjoy the nice, cool breeze.
Weather. It was nice. It was so nice standing there in my tux on Sunday.
I hope it was inside, not outside.
It was outside, but it wasn't on the beach. It was in a breezeway, and there was a little bit of a breeze, but it was still 98 degrees.
Actually, that's not bad for Cabo because usually at this time it's 112.
Yeah. About 98 degrees, kind of humid. I felt like a dish rag afterwards, but once all the pictures were taken, I could go change into my short pants and cool shirt and enjoy dinner.
Yeah, usually when you do one of those places and you do that, everybody's in Tommy Bahama and stuff like that in shorts and not necessarily in really beautiful tuxes and everything else when it's hot.
That was not this bride's vision, and we want to hand her vision. Yeah. So she's a happy girl.
That's good. All right, let's get into the market. So inventory came out yesterday for last week, and we're up 16,910.
That's a big jump.
Well, the week before it was down.
Okay.
So so it went from 651,453 to 668,383. Last year at this time was only 480,448. Normal during this period of time is about 1.2 million. However, of that number that's 668, there's about 179,000 condos that are not selling.
Right.
Because they're probably in Florida.
Yeah. And what was our inventory like in 2015?
I just said that was 1.2 million.
Yeah. What was it like? It was a lot.
Well, no, it wasn't.
Well,
it was enough. It was enough for everybody.
You had opportunity to show buyers. You didn't
have a line of 20,
and you didn't have to compete against a bunch of people, right?
But I mean, but also rates were high like they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything wasn't perfect. People didn't make as much. It was still the Obama administration, and I'm not knocking them, but they put so many things in place to make it harder to do loans in the guise of protecting, just like the state of California with the rent control in the guise of protecting. Now turn around and hurt. And that's exactly what they do. Every time I tell somebody, okay, I need to verify this because it's over 1% of your this deposit, but that's ridiculous. Anti-money laundering act. I can't help it. And then when they put in the ability to pay rule, which I got to prove that you have the ability to pay because of everything went through. And so don't blame me. Don't blame the player, blame the game.
Blame the administration that allowed that to happen.
Yeah, the current administration.
Right.
Because they're all connected.
Yep.
Let's see what else we got. Existing home sales came out today. There's not a ton of news, but Friday is the PCE, so that's a big news on Friday.
Yeah.
Existing home sales tracks closing of existing homes. That's ones who've been sold before.
What?
Yeah, it's not brand new.
Whoa.
Decreased 5.4% in June at a 3.89 million annualized pace, which is pretty low. And that was below the 4 million estimate, which, like I said, it's pretty low.
Yeah.
Supply was up 23.4% from a year ago, and the median existing home price is $426,900. That's nationwide. That's not in our area because if you count California, it's 900,000. In our area, it's probably 450.
I think we're right. 450, 435, 435, 450.
So that's about a 4.1% rise from a year ago. We talked about jobless claims last week. They came out on Thursday,
right?
And that was our last thing. But if you actually They broke them down, and they were showing that if you look at by state, 24 or almost half of the states in the country are higher year over year for unemployment. And additionally, 47% of the population lives in these states. Are you following me here?
Yeah.
Compared to in June, where there was only 11 states in the same situation, and that was only 22% of the population had a higher year-over-year claim figure. So if you look at this, there's a major shift into unemployment happening, is what I'm trying to get to.
I got you. Yeah. Where did they say those states were? That it just didn't.
It's going to be like California, and the bigger. It's bigger
New York,
states.
California, stuff like that.
It didn't break them down. If you want to, go ahead and Google that. And
no, I don't want to
yourself.
No, I was just wondering if you did.
No, I
like when you do the work.
I know you do. And then the leading economic indicator came out last week. We didn't talk about, and it decreased in June by 0.2%, which was slightly better than the -0.3 expected.
It's like
the index has been negative for 26 out of the last 27 months and flat the other month. So basically it's still down.
Yeah.
Long story short, that usually predicts activity to continue to lose momentum in the months ahead, potentially going into recession, but they're thinking that this is going to be a no recession.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, darn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Barry Habib's already out there talking about, hey, get ready for the refinance boom that's coming.
Because
loans
rates are going to go to 5 or something.
No, this is just even if rates get down to 5.5%, there's 6 million people that you could refinance. Huh. Not anything close to the trillions of dollars we did in 2020, 2021.
Well, does that sound like a boom to you?
No, it just sounds like a little bit to help out compared to what we have.
Yeah. So
because you got to remember, there's not a ton of business going on. But what I'm looked at is if rates get down to 6.625, that'd be conforming rates.
Okay.
There's 5.5 million buyers that have a current rate of 5.6 or higher, so they would move up.
Gotcha.
Okay. If it gets down to 6 1/8, that's 7 point. So I'm adding to the one before. So don't think that's double these numbers. So if it gets to 6 1/8, that is 7.5 million buyers that would be coming out that have a rate of 5 1/8 and higher that would potentially move up and do everything or move what they want to do.
Gotcha.
If it gets down to 5 1/2, that's 9.5 million buyers, and this is nationwide, would have a current rate of 4.5 or higher. So if you look at what he was talking about originally about refinance, if there's 2 million borrowers out there that have 6% to 6.5 rates because they never did anything plus current, and there's 2 million between 6.625 and 7%, and there's 2 million above 7%. So that's what he's talking about. You can help a bunch of people lower their rates overall, and I think there is potential for a good refinance, somewhat of a boom, but not a ridiculous thing we went through. We don't need those 100,000 plus loan officers back. And what I'm running into is I cannot believe how many people don't know how to do a VA loan. I'm getting calls all over. We need a VA loan person.
Really?
Yeah, because I think people have left the industry. Some of the loan officers out there are working part-time. They have another job. They're doing other things. They're not full-time in the industry anymore. There's only a handful of us that are still in the industry full-time.
Do you think there's actually loan officers out there that think VA is too hard to do, so they just don't want to attempt it?
I hope so, because I'll do it. I want all VA loans.
Yeah.
I want all of them. They can
I'll do your probate sales.
Yeah. I'm just saying, that's what I'm going to put out to everybody, because it's so easy to do a VA loan. And like I said, I can get them done in 9 days. Well, as soon as the appraisal's in, we can close. And if you order it right, that's 10 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you get that guy who you order on Friday and they have it in by Monday, which has happened many times. But then there's those ones up in certain areas.
I got 14 days.
I don't want to get out of bed for another 5 days.
Yeah. I'm going to watch some reruns of Oprah first.
I have until this date.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to do.
That's the really old people who need to get out of the business.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually starting to feel like there's going to be a decrease in numbers of realtors in the business due to this new buyer brokerage agreement that will be have to be used after August 17th, unless the DOJ says, hey, we want to look at this again and go after more money from NAR.
Explain more.
I just think there's a lot of, especially like seasoned realtors that are just like, I'm done with change. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do buyer brokerage. I've been working in Modesto for 52 years. Never had a buyer brokerage agreement. I always got paid by the listing broker. That's the way I want it to be, and I'm just not going to fart around with it. And then there'll be newer agents that are like, oh God, this is hard, because they don't have the guidance or maybe they'll leave their mom and pop office and go to a larger office. It's going to provide some education and experience. But I just think it's gonna be a mess for at least 2 months. It's just going to be an absolute mess.
So everybody as a buyer has to sign this agreement
right.
that they're going to pay.
Yep.
Somehow it'll be paid to the buyer.
You have to figure it out. I mean, you have to work with them, you got to figure it out. You can talk to you can call the listing agent still and say, hey, is the seller participating in paying the buyer's agent's commission? You can do that. Kind of like what we did in the 90s when I first started. When I was a big old freshman, I had no clue what I was doing. but we used to write, in the contract, which to me, the contract is a contract between the buyer and the seller, not the listing agent and not the listing broker and the selling broker. But they had in the contract, what the commission structure was going to be. And you would write 3%. Buyer's broker would write 3% minus, I think it was $25 or $20 for the MLS stamp. And it might come back down to that, but you get the buyer brokerage. So you seek a certain amount of commission from the selling broker or the listing broker. And then whatever that is, you can negotiate the difference of what you're normally paid by the buyer himself or herself or themselves. It'll be interesting.
So it's basically what other states do automatically.
It's what a lot of other states do.
Washington State's been doing that for a while.
Yeah, Virginia too. Midwest, they have a lot of buyer brokerage agreements, but there are a lot of states that just don't do it. It's just going to be a new way of thinking, a new way of doing things. It's not impossible. It's not tough. It's just people are going to be like, I just don't want to mess with this.
That's too bad. Bye-bye.
I like it. I like it. So tomorrow we get local numbers that'll come out. It'll be interesting to see. While I was gone, there was a lot of activity. I've got some new listings coming up. I'll talk about tomorrow. And
that's it.
I think that's it.
All right. Everybody make it a great day. Thanks for being here. Mike, thanks for seeing you back.
I was boring you, huh?
No, we've been on for 11 minutes. We don't have anything to talk about. Let's go.
Let's talk about nothing. Let's do a Gary Seinfeld show. Okay.
Yeah, we do that enough.
Yeah. Have a great day, guys.
All right. Oh, I guess there's a pocket listing lawsuit.
Where?
Pocket listing lawsuit allowed to be reconsidered.
Interesting.
Yeah. So be careful of your pocket listings.
Well, you're not supposed to have pocket listings.
Well, people do.
What I call a pocket listing is a coming soon. I don't understand how we've allowed that to actually even.
This is California, by the way.
Yeah, as well. California.
No, this is the actual judge in California granted the plaintiff's motion to reconsideration on Monday.
Oh, wow.
So this is in California, which a lot of people do pocket listings here.
Well, National Association of Realtors had an old study that said you have a listing that doesn't truly see the market. You're usually leaving between 25 and 30% on the table.
Right.
So.
All righty then.
Okay. Go to the doctor.
It's not till later.
Okay.
But thank you for telling me to go to the doctor.
Go to the doctor, man.
All right. Everybody make a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, Mike.
Have a great day. Thanks, Ed.